Hi there, this is Kristen Mooring. I'm doing my little observation, compare, and contrast thingamajigger. Um, this past week, I was in Fayetteville, Arkansas, and I had the opportunity to go to my old elementary school, St. Joseph's Catholic School, a private school. It's ages pre-K through 8th, I believe, and I did a bunch of classes there. Thankfully, I got the opportunity to get a bunch of my hours done there. The two classes I'll be talking about are two science classes. One is a fifth grade science class taught by Miss Tice, and the other is a seventh grade science class taught by Miss Rag. The first one, Miss Tice, is a teacher I had before, and she was always a very nice teacher, very cool. And it was really neat to be able to see her from a different perspective, not just from a student's perspective, but as like a future teacher perspective. And her class was very well behaved. Basically, they started the day by handing in the homework and making sure everyone had all their ducks in a row. Then they started reading from the chapter of their textbook that they were working on at that moment, which was about like animal camouflage and how they imitate things. And the students had a lot of good questions, a lot of good things to add, oh, like about like stick bugs that they had found, and about different animals that they have seen that had different camouflages and things like that. They were all very involved and very interested in the subject they were speaking about. And Miss Tice was very good at keeping them all involved and giving them good examples of other animals in their habitats that had those kind of advantages or their disadvantages. And she had a nice method of using this little cup with like little popsicle sticks that had each student's name on it that you would draw for giving them turns to read from the textbook. So everyone had an equal turn. No one was like, oh, you picked that guy every time, oh, favorites, yada yada yada. It's all equal because it's all just random picking a stick, whatever, you get to read. And like I said, they're all very well behaved. Like, I honestly didn't expect fifth graders to be that well behaved, but they were a lot more mature than I originally thought they were. You know, they're still kids, they're still little baby things, like, I don't remember being that small, but not many talked out of turn or anything. They were, for the most part, they were very quiet. Only in like a couple of times where they talked out of turn, the staff would kind of give them a look like, really, dude, like, cut that out, and they'd be like, all right, that's cool, and they'd stop. And another thing I noticed was she had these lounge chairs over in a corner that I think like every kid gets a turn, and like if you're really good, you get like an extra turn or something like that, where they could go sit and read from their book from over there in these cool little like kind of trampoline looking lounge chairs. And that was, I think, was a nice little thing for them. They could relax a little bit more. And as rewards, she kind of had this little trick or treat thing because it was near Halloween, where she'd give out candy to kids that were good. And she had a lot of things around the room that had to do with like animal biology, like snake skins and these cool little like alligator heads, and there's like furs and horns and things like that. So that was a good class, good example for like a younger elementary school, not really young, but elementary school level science class. And then there was this Miss Rag who taught the seventh grade science class. Excuse me. I had her before too, and she was very nice. I think when I had her, she was kind of a new teacher, and she's gotten a lot better over the years. And it was an interesting class. It was a class full of just nothing but 8th, 7th grade boys. I'm not sure why it was just boys, but it was really funny because it's like you could just feel the testosterone in the air and how they're a little more rowdy, a little not disrespectful, but a little more full of themselves a little bit. Like you could tell that they kind of were starting to feel like, oh yeah, I know this, I got this kind of thing, and a little more goofy, a little more like messing around. But she was able to get them under control pretty well. They almost, like, a couple of them almost fought at the beginning, like they were getting all of each other's face, and she broke it up. And who knows what they were about, teenage boys. What are you gonna do? it was a really fun, interesting class to observe too, because she had them doing this project where you took like you'd blow up a balloon, tape it to a straw, and put that straw through a string that you hang at two ends of a room, and like measure the circumference and let the balloon go and let the air out and see how fast it can get across the room. And it was interesting how like she was taking the scientific ideas they were learning about and now applying them to actual projects and actual like real tangible things. Whereas in 5th grade, it was more just reading from textbooks, seeing the ideas, learning about just them basically just through text and through like, you know, lesson plans of just writing things out and things like that. But they're to a level where they can actually learn, you know, mass acceleration and how to apply that to something and turn it into a real tangible thing. And it was fun how like there was two teams kind of like competing with each other, not really competing, but two different teams doing the whole balloon project, and each one had like a different job they had to do. Like one person would take the time, another person would blow up the balloon, another person would hold the string, and then, you know, write down all their information. And the thing is, like, that one of the big differences was she would help the students when she needed help, but she also knew that they could help themselves, and when they were just being kind of lazy and being like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing, it's like, yes you do it. And so it was interesting to see that the 5th graders, while they were more mature than say like some 2nd graders that I saw in that same school, they you know, they were calmer and more collected. It was still interesting to see the different, like, how just a few years they can turn into almost completely different people who are now like so rowdy and teenagery. And like, I've always been kind of leaning on teaching high school level, and a lot of people are like, oh, you're crazy, high schoolers, oh, they're crazy. And yeah, they are crazy, but like, it kind of helped me learn that I do like that level, because I like to teach more specific ideas and more specific things, and being able to talk more on their level and to have like more in-depth discussions with them about it. Whereas the other ones, you're kind of just giving the information and trying to, you know, just get the basics in there. But yeah, it was a really good experience. Both classes were a very good experience for me in learning, and it was very cool to see both of my old teachers again and see them from a new perspective and see them really how they teach and not just what they're teaching, and like how they do what they do. So that was very cool, and I hope to have many more experiences like this in the future. And yeah, I will see you guys next observation template thingy.